Warning: this video examines the account of an alien abduction that investigators were never able to explain. What follows includes details that many have found deeply disturbing. Proceed knowing that some parts of this story stay with you for a long time after you've heard them. Fire in the Sky is a science fiction drama about a group of loggers who witness something strange in the woods, after which one of them mysteriously disappears. The story follows the turmoil that unfolds in the small town as the remaining crew members face suspicion, fear, and mounting pressure while trying to explain what happened. It focuses on the emotional outfall, the community's reaction, and the search for answers. This film was released in 1993 by Paramount Pictures. It was directed by Robert Lieberman, and the writer was Tracy Thorn, who actually based this story and the film off the book from Travis Walton himself. The book is called The Walton Experience, which was released in 1978. The protagonist is played by Daniel Bernard Sweeney, and he is playing Travis Walton himself. The setting and location, so it's set in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest near Heber, Arizona. That's where the true events supposedly happened, and the film itself was shot in Oregon. The encounter. So, in Fire in the Sky, the night starts like any other. 6 men driving a lonely forest road, their truck rattling through the dark. Everything feels normal until it doesn't. Slowly, the film pulls you into a rising sense of unease, hinting that something unnatural is waiting just beyond the tree line. Then, they see it. A strange, pulsating glow seeping through the forest canopy. They stop, the air tightens. Travis steps out, drawn towards a hovering craft wrapped in impossible light, and in a single terrifying instant, a violent beam strikes him, slamming him to the ground. His co-workers panic and flee, leaving him behind in a clearing that suddenly feels far too quiet, far too empty. In the movie, the evidence is undeniable. You see the craft, you see the beam, you see Travis disappear. It's dramatic, it's visual, it's designed to leave no question that something otherworldly is taking place. The crew panics and drives off, returning minutes later to find the clearing empty. The object is gone, and so is Travis. In the real case, the only evidence came from the 6 witnesses, shaken, terrified, but all telling the same story. A missing persons investigation opened up within hours, and law enforcement scoured the forest. Yet there were no footprints, no blood, no signs of a struggle. Nothing to support a crime and nothing to explain the disappearance. Just an unsettling silence and the haunting truth that something happened out there. Something no one has been able to explain. The evidence the police received was nothing like the movie spectacle. 6 terrified men telling the same story. No blood, no tracks, no signs of a struggle, nothing that pointed to a crime, and nothing that ruled out something stranger. Just a man that vanished in seconds, in full view of witnesses who had no reason to lie, yet no physical proof of what happened to him at all. In the real case, the terror didn't come from flashing lights or dramatic visuals. It came from the emptiness. Travis wasn't simply gone, and the silence he left behind was darker than anything Hollywood could ever show. Later, the film drags us inside the alien craft, grotesque membranes, cold restraints, strange instruments, all designed to make the abduction feel undeniable. In the movie, the evidence isn't visually obscure, it's certainty. You don't question it, you witness it. The film wants you to believe that if this happened to you, you wouldn't walk away the same. You might not walk away at all. But what's the real story? There's actually nothing like that. There were no cinematic beams, no dramatic music, no camera angles, nothing to guide your emotions. Just a missing man, 6 terrified witnesses, and a forest that refuses to give up its secrets. Rumors spread like wildfire. Murders, lies, a cover-up. The men aren't treated as traumatized witnesses, they're treated as suspects. Investigators circle like vultures, dissecting their timelines, their reactions, and their every inconsistencies. Every glare, every accusation pushes one idea. Whatever happened out there was monstrous, whether it came from the sky or from one of them men themselves. By the end of the first night, the forest has swallowed every trace of Travis. His disappearance sounded impossible, so law enforcement did what they always do. They looked for the most human explanation. Homicide became their first working theory. Search parties grew, volunteers poured in, the suspicions tightened around the 6 remaining men with every passing hour. In the film, Travis's return isn't a rescue, it's a rupture. The world he left behind is no longer the world he comes back to. The movie treats his reappearance like something supernatural, an eruption of trauma dropped into a place that he was never prepared for what he's become. When the film shows him again, he's barely recognizable. He's trembling, filthy, and hollowed out, clinging to reality by a thread. His memories come back to him in disturbing flashes. Cold metal, tight membranes, grotesque shapes looming over him. His return feels less like someone coming home and more like something or someone waking up inside a nightmare they never escaped. After 5 days missing with no food, no shelter, and no explanation, he suddenly called his sister from a payphone booth in Heber. His voice was thin, frightened, and undeniably real. When officers reached him, Travis was dehydrated, disorientated, and visibly shaken. His memories were fractured, brief flashes of light, strange sensations, and timelines simply missing. There was no dramatic injuries, nothing to clearly support an abduction, but nothing that explained how he actually vanished for 5 days either. He wasn't simply a man putting on a show, and he wasn't someone who just wandered off into the woods either. He was something in between, confused, fragile, and scared. Investigators pushed hard for an explanation and got nothing. The witnesses repeated the same story, polygraph tests backed them up. Search teams confirmed there was no sign of foul play. Medical exams showed no injuries that fit normal explanation, and none that disproved the crew's claims either. What remained was a 5-day void carved into Travis Walton's life. 5 days no one could account for. The Sheriff's Office, the Department of Public Safety, and even the FBI, none of them could find a motive, or a culprit, or a hoax. Their conclusion was simple, unsettling, and unsatisfying. Travis Walton disappeared, and then he came back, and that was the only fact they could prove. Instead of cinematic certainty, the real case ends with cold silence. No body, no stage crime, no physical proof of anything at all. Just a man reappearing under circumstances nobody has ever been able to explain, and a forest that held its secrets for far too long and far too well. Where the film gives you terror through imagery, the real story leaves you with something darker. A mystery built on pure emptiness. A case where the final evidence isn't what investigators found, but what they could never find. Okay, so to wrap this up, so in the end, there's no actual definitive proof that this was an event that was extraterrestrial, but neither is there conclusive evidence that it was a hoax. The story exists in that mysterious space between belief and skepticism. It could have been a misunderstood natural phenomenon, a psychological response to trauma, or a story that evolved over time. Or perhaps it was an experience that simply doesn't fit within what we are currently understanding. What's undeniable though is the impact. Decades later, the questions remain. Not because they've been answered, but because they haven't. Since then, hundreds of people have gone missing without explanation, and countless UFO sightings have continued to be reported. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. What's the likelihood that this story is true? What did you think of the film? I'm interested to know. And if you can tell me what the logo on this hat means, you get bonus points. Just to let you know as well, I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. Personally really enjoyed it, and it's quite difficult to mark these films that came out a while ago, even if it was early 90s. I think the likelihood of the story being true is maybe a 6.5, and I like to be open-minded about these sort of things. IMDb gave this a 5.9 out of 10. Maybe that's a bit harsh, I'm not too sure. Not as harsh as the Rotten Tomatoes score though, which is a 5.4 out of 10. Before looking into the reviews, I actually thought this would be more highly rated, but you know, Letterboxd gave it a 6.4 out of 10, which I think is a little bit more reasonable than the previous two scores. I'd be interested to know what everybody else thinks in the comments, so leave them down below and let me know what you'd like me to do for my next video. Thanks for watching.